And New Jersey's hate crime law. That could soon change if new legislation is passed. Former governor and current state senator Dick Codey has introduced a bill that adds members of the press or media to a list of protected classes covered under New Jersey's bias intimidation law. Joining us now live to discuss this is Governor Codey. Governor, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you, and enjoy the day with Jack.
Oh, you know I will. Absolutely.
15 is an age where you can go either way.
I tell you, yeah, 15-year-old boy. I was like, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. So,
I don't want to be with you now.
Yeah, right. Well, let's just talk a little bit about the legislation. Back to New Jersey politics. What is behind this bill? What prompted you to propose this?
A state senator in Florida, Senator Cruz, not related to Ted, shall we say, proposed it after the January 6th scene at the Capitol. So I think we all realize after that campaign, the Biden-Trump thing, that people have really strong feelings with either candidate. They did, certainly, but people also were taking out their anger and their hate and whatever you want to call it on journalists as well. If the journalists didn't agree with them on the choice of candidates, it really reached a fever pitch that I've never seen. And I've been in politics a long time. Now, listen, people in New Jersey, the press, they can say whatever they want me. I have no problem. I won't agree with them sometimes. Sometimes I will. As long as they don't lie, I don't have a problem. But some people just take it over the top, as we saw with the Trump campaign and the Biden campaign. And this is a kind of a new phenomenon, not only in our state, but all over the country. And it's got to be addressed. And the people of the press are entitled to their opinion, all right? And we have to respect it. But now maybe we have to put them in that endangered class, like people of all backgrounds who have that kind of protection as well.
And, even over the summer, I remember during some of the protests and rioting and stuff that we saw, I watched a reporter be escorted live on air. And I was kind of thinking, how is this happening? And then you step back a little bit to say, a lot of people claim they're members of the media, but they aren't always. And sometimes they're in there instigating. Have you witnessed anything in New Jersey? Like you said, I've been a member of the New Jersey Press Corps. And at first, sometimes you might be a little intimidated to ask tough questions. But what I found is elected officials typically do like to be challenged because they want to say, here's what this is. And they don't mind, in my experience, when you're challenged, but you are seeing this shift. I'm seeing it from my observation. What are you seeing yourself?
I'm not necessarily seeing where the politicians per se are going after the press in a vicious way, but the public has been, they've taken a change. And if you're not with their candidate, they're angry at members of the press who don't agree with them. And that's a new phenomenon. And once you get to saying, hey, they're the enemy too, and you saw all this aggression throughout the campaigns, it's time to take a step forward and say, no, they are protected class, whether you agree with them or not. Simple as that.
Governor, it seems that a lot of people, if they have a keyboard and an internet connection, can claim to be a journalist. So if this law is passed, is it looking at what defines a member of the media? Because a lot of people, most members of the media, they go through state police, they get their press pass, their press credentials.
Yes, they have to be, you're right, they have to go through a whole process to be certified as a member of the press. And that's a process. And you, as you know, when you're out, you have those badges on you, and people are aware of them. And now, hopefully, they'll understand that no cursing and throwing things or anything else against a member of the press.
Right. I mean, because when members of the media do not feel that they are going to be protected physically, as well as also, from the back end, from the bosses who are sending you out, then they don't go out, and that is not serving anyone. Members of the media, they serve such a vital link and communication from what is happening inside, and then they offer not just information but also perspective and various points of view. So very, very important.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, I think we all know that at various points during the last year, journalists were injured. There's no doubt about it, and people tried to go after them as well. That's a small minority of people, but even one is wrong, and we have to stand up and send a message. No, let them report. You may agree, you may disagree, but whatever it is, no, they're not somebody you should go after. You shouldn't go after anybody. But, when I would go out and people would bring up the campaign, I always made sure that I'd not get in a debate with them. They would like to try to draw you into that debate, but you just, you got to act intelligently and say, well, let's see what happens when the voting counts.
Well, Governor, I think I could talk to you this entire hour. And in fact, a little bit of news here. I'm going to be launching a new political show. It's going to be called New Jersey Politics Conversations with Laura Jones. And on one of my former shows, you were my first guest. So I was talking to my producer. How great is that, right? And so we'll be able to talk more about what is happening in New Jersey, have more platforms for those in New Jersey, because we're stuck in between New York and Philadelphia. So I'm back and looking forward to talking to you.
We're also stuck at home all the time. Look at me, Laura, almost 50 years in the legislature, right?
Yeah.
So the last year, I didn't have to go to any events at night. You talk about a sea change?
Right.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, Governor, it is just so nice to see you, and we appreciate the time that you took to speak with us on this Easter weekend, and we wish you and your family well, and look forward to seeing you again.
Same to you, and congrats to Jack.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.